Hello there, only one Kenobi here, only one. Look at that dramatic sky as we are on the Remembrance Sunday here, and this is the next episode of my new top 5 series, which is top 5 figures that should and could and would have been, coulda, shoulda, woulda been in the vintage collection. So we are up to Attack of the Clones. If you want to watch my other episode, I'll leave a link below, which was for Phantom Menace. But here they all are. I'm going to start with this guy, Anakin Skywalker. Why haven't we had a standard card for him? This figure here is immense, and I've said it before and I don't mind saying it again and again and again because it really annoys me. That black series that we got was just whatever, you know, that should have all been vintage collection. And this figure here, right, was a really good one. This is the second time they made him. This is figure number, just knocked everything over. This is figure number 1, and look, that's not so good. His hair's quite brown and doesn't look very Hayden Christensen-y, but this fella does. It's really good, that figure. Look at him. And then I've put this robe I got from somewhere else. I think it's an old Obi-Wan robe. But on a standard card back, Jedi Anakin. I know he's, why couldn't I save her? He's very kind of whiny and wimpy a little bit, but, you know, it was still cool. I remember watching him in the cinema thinking, wow, it's Darth Vader, you know? That's just, that alone made it cool. The next one is this. I know we've already had lots of clones and blah, 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 but I really do think I've just put them together because this is how I pose them. I've got your man here, and then I've got, this is the one I want on a vintage collection card back. The Clone Commander, Master Yoda. All forward positions are now advancing. Very good. Very good. But the yellow guy is the commander, and he would have been great, you know, on a vintage card. You got the blue guy, and you've got the standard, not this sculpt. This is an earlier figure, but this is a great figure, by the way. And they could have potentially given you, well, they gave you him. He's vintage collection. They obviously gave you that. They could have given you, not him, that's Fordo. They could have given you Phase 1 red. So that's a funny one, and Hasbro would probably be happy with that one because it's only repacking, isn't it, as opposed to making something new. So that's an easy job for you to do that one, Hasbro, but you never did it. You could have. Well, since I've just picked him up because I knocked him over, let's talk about Dooku. I don't really need to say much more than I've already said on this channel for the last 4.5 years. But where is Count Dooku in the vintage collection? Go and search for my other videos. I've talked about him a lot, but it is beyond the point of ridiculous now that we've not had him. Or maybe it's the deliberate decision that they want to do that to keep us constantly on alert, on tenterhooks, you know, so we hang on there. I'll keep collecting the TVC, even if they give us Dooku, but it's just a funny one, really. I'm a bit bored of it now, really. It's got to the point when it's like, but he would be better on an Attack of the Clones card than anything. But, you know, conceivably, they could put him on a Clone Wars card, given that they have now decided to give us Genndy Tartakovsky, the Genndy Tartakovsky line, which I'll talk about her in a minute, but, you know, and also they're going to give you, not Shaq T, Ayla Sakura's coming back on the Genndy card back. So potentially, you know, they could give you a proper Dooku on that one as well. Let's see what they do, but I prefer it on Attack of the Clones. Let me know what you think about that. And then next, so what are we up to here? That's number 1, number 2, number 3. This is in no order. Number 4, now this is just one, again, I want to highlight this because this should be on there already. So they gave you Padme Amidala on the orange card black series, and it's a great figure, and it's iconic because, you know, well, it's a throwback to Leia in her white Bespin, but I just think that could already be there. So I'm not even going to make it an honourable mention because it's all here, it's right there, and it should already be in. So, but Padme would be great, and I feel like almost like I'm repeating myself, but as I've said it in so many videos, but the cardback would be good. Cardback would be really good, and I'm going to revisit a series I started over a year ago, which was looking at the orange card and the blue card line and what could and should have happened in that line. I'm going to pick that up actually and carry on with it because there's loads of good stuff in there to talk about that would have, you know, been immense on a vintage card back. She's in there. And then it's Poggle Lesser. I was really glad to get this earlier this year. I opened it off a card back. Here's a couple more here. I'm going to talk to you about them in a minute. Yet to open these, but Poggle is brilliant. I don't know when to give up. Something like that. Poggle the Lesser. Look at this great figure here. He's greener than I would like. I think he should be... That should be a darker green, or maybe that's accurate to the screen. Maybe it's because of the lighting in the movie, but if I just try and get a little bit closer, you see the great detail of this figure. And in the background, you'll see his compadre. That's a figure there that I'm going to talk about in the honourable mentions because... But I think it's probably slightly better in articulation than this guy. And the one behind is a clue as to what they could and should have done for him. Anyway, so Poggle the Lesser would be great. And again, we talked about this before. A severe lack of bad guys, Dooku being the other, in TVC. So that's my 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd say they're my top. Now it's time for some honourable mentions, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to start with him because there was a line of figures called the Legacy. I don't know if they actually called it the Legacy Lost line because it's a line of figures that got discontinued or something. But it's Legacy Collection. Why the hell they did it, I don't know, because TVC was around back then. It's funny, isn't it, really? The orange card line does my head in as well. But this guy came out in that. And look at him. He's prime for TVC-ism, you know? Look at it. He's got loads of joint articulation. He's really hard to stand up. I'll tell you that about him, though, which is a bit of a pain. But I don't know if he's got more or less. I think he's got more articulation than Poggle. But he still looks good. He's a warrior. Given the fact that, you know, back in the TVC with all these Gungans, you've got, you know, excuse the focus there, you've got Jar Jar, right? Steady. And you've got a Gungan warrior standard. So you've got 2 similar figures of the same variety. So basically what I'm trying to say is you could have had key character of that species, aka Poggle, and then just a regular drone of that species for, you know, potential army building purposes. And then that would be it. So that's my first honourable mention, whatever his name is. I think he's just called the Geonosian Warrior. So, and the next one, this is kind of ironic, this next one. Here he is, the B1 Battle Droid. Obviously Geonosian colours. He came in the same line of figures as Mr. I nearly said Gungan, Mr. Geonosian Warrior there. This figure, same line, is just, look at it. It's the same battle droid you got for the Phantom Menace. But it's Geonosian. And it would go nicely for anyone who's a loose collector. You could have army built for your arena. That's that. But for the carded collector, there were loads of really nice card backs that they did. Jedi droids, the super battle droid. This guy would have gone along very nicely with him. Would it have made any difference for them to have put it on the TVC card? Why they put them in that Legacy Collection thing was just nonsense. Speaking of droids, this isn't one of the ones I'm choosing, but this guy also came with that Legacy Lost line. But this is Dooku's droid, right? And he was in that as well. Got nice articulation, lovely finish. Look at that lovely, well, I would say chrome. It's kind of like a bronzy kind of copper finish. Steampunky, styly maybe, but I don't know. Lovely droid. That's whatever he's called when Dooku is getting chaperoned back to Coruscant. This is the droid that does it. He goes up the ramp as well just before you're going to pay for all the Jedi you killed today, Dooku. Just before that fight happens, but he's nice. He's too small for me to want to have him on his own, and he doesn't do it. He'd be a really good pack-in for a small character, but if I'd want him packed in with Dooku or not, it would look a bit packed, the bubble. I just thought I'd mention him. Next up, I want to give this guy a mention. Honourable mention. This should have really been in my Phantom Menace. This is just a quick tip of the hat to a subscriber who commented yesterday. They said, that's when I uploaded my Phantom Menace one. They said, what about Ki-Adi-Mundi? And I feel really bad. I thought, oh my God, because he says more and does more, I feel, in Phantom Menace. And draw out the Queen's attacker. Your thoughts dwell on your mother. He says loads of key words like that, but you see him in Attack of the Clones, but I'd sooner actually him be on a Phantom Menace card. This is actually a Phantom Menace line figure. Oh, I'm lying to you. No, this is an Attack of the Clones figure because it's got a magnetized hilt, which is really good. So it's a nice one. But, somewhere along the line in the prequels, because he does appear also in Revenge of the Sith quite heavily, as maybe more as a hologrammatic image. But he would be great somewhere. But is he an honourable mention? Where am I up to? I'm getting losing count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sort of. Yeah, so I'm going to put him on my honourable mentions, but more so for Phantom Menace. Next one, I'm going to show you 2 figures now. One of them is the worst figure in the world. If I was to do a video on contenders for the worst ever made figure, it would be that. I bought it thinking it would be great, but it's awful. It's C-3PO from the Homestead. It's terrible. Get rid of him. However, I got this from Tungori recently, massively superior. It's almost the same scaling and sculpt as the TVC 3PO you got. Yeah, so that's a good one, but yeah. I think it would be just really good. A great cardback it would be to have 3PO from the Homestead, I feel. And that's a nice figure that I don't know if Tungori has any more of them, but I snagged one. This is going back a while. Look at that. Lovely colour. I do like 3PO in Attack of the Clones. Like I said in my previous video, I think it's ridiculous that Anakin is his creator and he's a bit goofy in Phantom Menace, but he did look good in the Homestead. Just looking battered and, rustic. So that's cool. I think that'll be a really nice card as well. So that's that. And finally, you did get her. This is, I nearly said Ventress. Almost. It's Barriss Offee. Great storyline in the Clone Wars. Barriss was in the Attack of the Clones TVC line, but her master wasn't. And here she is. I've just thought I'd put them together because just for your own information, if you weren't aware, and I do have room tours if you want to see, check out a series called Shelf Indulgence. I will leave a link to that in the description. But I have these 2 ladies stood together on my Clone Wars shelf. Together they have a really key storyline when they go to Ilum to go and look for Jedi crystals. And but anyway, I think if I was to put her on any card, I'd probably say Attack of the Clones because, because you get Barriss, it would be nice to have her master. Luminara Unduli. Nearly forgot her name then. Luminara. She's great, and she's good in the Clone Wars. Not only the Gandhi series is a really good sequence when they go to they go to Ilum looking for crystals, but she's got a really good part when I think she's doing something on Mandalore with Ahsoka, and her voice is quite interesting. It's not a very good figure that I think I got it secondhand, but still, are we gonna get her? I can't remember. Is she coming out on the Gandhi Clone Wars cards? I know that she is again. Barriss is. So there's 5 and 5. And if I've missed anything, do let me know. It was great to hear from people last time. As I say, someone picked up on Ki-Adi-Mundi. I couldn't believe I'd left him out, but still, thank you very much for watching. Oh, just before I leave you, there's a few things I'm going to be opening in the fullness of time. These are all Attack of the Clones, and they would be great. That clone there, and yeah, I've heard mixed things about that, but I just want him to make my clone collection complete. I've got Embryo, I've got Child up there, I've got Django, and I need him to make it complete for my Camino section. And then this guy is, well, do you know what? He'd be great on a TVC card as well. Who the hell are we kidding? I love that. That is steampunk, that, innit? That's definitely inspired by that sort of style. Whatever his name is. What? Tambor. Thanks for watching. This has been Only One Kenobi. If you're new around here, subscribe. Don't forget to tap the like button if you have enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for the next one. This has been Only One Kenobi. Only one. Out.